Hola amigos de YouTube, this is Rosa and Surviving and Laughing with Rosa. I wanna tell you uh, something that happens to me long time ago. Um, for some reason, it looks like everything that I do, I have to kind of do it twice. It's always been more difficult for me, maybe bad luck, or I don't know. The thing is that when I got married, I was trying to be very responsible. So I decided that I didn't want to have any children until we had our own house because we were living in a small apartment, only one bedroom. So I applied for a loan. We were approved, and once we get approved, and we already had a house with offer, so we decided to start our family. So I got pregnant a few months after we moved into our house, and I was really happy. At that time, I was working as a manager in a Winchell Donna house, and but we were okay money wise. So we started buying everything that we needed for the baby. We changed the carpet on the room and got everything that we needed. I got a couple of baby showers, and I was really happy, really happy. I remember that I decided to buy everything from the Disney babies and from different places. So I don't spend that much money because I was always kind of smart with my money. So I got my room ready, and I was just waiting for my baby to arrive. So the time comes when I was supposed to deliver the baby. So I went to work that day, and then um, I came to my house, and later on I started feeling uh, weird. So I decided we were gonna go to the hospital and see if it was time for me to deliver the baby. We have some uh, pictures. We took pictures and my luggage and everything, and we were really happy going to the hospital because we were anxious waiting for this baby. And when I got to the hospital, they start putting a lot of monitors and stuff. And there was this doctor that he was the one in call that day. His name is Dr. Lynch, and he came, and the nurses started talking to him, and I was just there waiting, and they told me that was the nurses were calm, they were nice and everything, but when the doctor came, they talked to him, and then he looked at me and he says, "When was the last time you uh, felt life?" And I thought, like, what are you talking about? I said, "Yes, the baby's dead." He told me like that, just no, he was nothing polite at all. He was kind of uh, not telling me right, all at once, the baby's dead. At that moment, I couldn't believe it. I was in a lot of denial. I started uh, thinking a bunch of stuff, and I couldn't believe that, and that the baby was dead. And I even told him I felt it today, and he said, "No, it's your body that is trying to reject the baby because it doesn't belong there anymore." So then I started like in a shock. I couldn't talk. I couldn't say anything anymore. They came, they put a lot of IVs, and they started putting me a lot of medicine for infection, for this and for that. The thing is that they put me a lot of medicine. I couldn't function anymore. I started thinking like 101 things. Like, what would people think, that I wasn't even good enough to give up to have a baby? And I was really upset. I even felt like the room, it was in the afternoon, but the room was very lighted, and and I saw like if everything went dark. I was like in this dark place where I couldn't get out. I didn't know what to think. They were doing one thing and another, and they will come and talk to me, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say anything. And my ex-husband was the one answering all the questions. They even come and says, "Does she understand English?" And he says, "Yes, she does." I was so devastated. Mentally, I was in the floor. I couldn't believe it with all my emotions that I had at that time. Then the doctor says that they were gonna do some procedures so my uterus will open and deliver the baby. But he says that it was gonna take a long time. They probably uh, days. So I asked him, how come you don't do surgery and a C-section? And says it's a big surgery and it doesn't make sense because your baby is dead. But he was like so cold, like he didn't care about my feelings, and they start putting me so much medicine and putting some kind of gases, like gas inside my my parts to make it soft, but it was really painful. And I remember that I started praying God that, oh God, please help me because I can do this by myself. I At that moment I didn't know what to think, but at the same time, at that because I was in a lot of pain, I was praying, and then I will start thinking again. And one of those times when I was thinking, then I started thinking about that passage about the footprints, which it was weird, but I thought, oh, maybe God is gonna uh, carry me through this. So I was there all night. The next morning, the doctor came back and he checked me and everything. He said, you know what, this is gonna take for a long time. So that he gave some instructions to the nurses and he left. I remember that he left, and then I felt something, like something was coming out of me, and I told my husband, check, I think that something is coming out, and I was so afraid there was gonna be all that uh, sponges and stuff that they were putting in, and I thought, oh my God, they have to put it back, and it was so painful. For some reason, I don't know, but it was really painful. So he looked at me and he said, you know what? Is the baby's coming? So he called the nurse, and the nurse ran to the parking lot because supposedly the doctor was on his way out. So he came and he looked at me. He said, oh, wow, this is something that I have never seen before, because supposedly I was delivering the baby too fast. And I thought, well, maybe God is listening to me because I was in so much pain. So they said that the baby was feet first. So one of the nurses was pushing on my stomach because they said that the baby was there, it was not going to help pushing to get out. So they put their hands and almost all their body weight on my stomach, and the other nurse was pulling the baby out. And but before that, they asked me, because this was a Catholic hospital, they asked me if I wanted to um, have a priest or a nun to come and talk to me and pray with me. But I was so upset. At that time, I felt like Where was God when this happened to my baby? So I said, no, I don't want anybody. Until I was in a lot of pain, that's when I started praying and everything. But since I said that I didn't want anybody, because I assumed that nobody was going to come. But by the time I delivered the baby, there were some nuns there already. So somehow they told my husband that if he wanted me to see the baby, and he said no. But at that moment, I was able to speak and I said, no. I said, I want to see. I said, wait a minute. I said, I want to see my baby because I was so upset and worried and everything that I thought, how about if my baby was misformed or has some sickness or maybe I delivered a monster or something and I'm never going to know if I don't see it. So when one of the I think it was a nurse. I can't remember exactly if it was a nurse or a nun, but I think it was a nun that came and showed me the baby. And she opened the whole blanket, the receiving blanket, so that I can see the whole body. The baby was fine. The face, the lips, and everything was fine, other than that he was little, and that because they push him and pull it and everything, his skin from the torso up was a little bit peeled. But after that, I was there. They took the baby. Well, my husband took the baby first, and I remember seeing him and with the baby in his arms, crying. And then, probably about an hour later, he gave the baby to the nurses to take him. And I can hear all the people happy. Oh, it's a boy, it's a girl, and the baby's crying and everything because I was on the maternity, the area. I was on the delivery. So they decided to take me to another room so that I don't see there and I don't hear all that happiness around me when I was so miserable and sad. So I remember when they took me to another floor. When I went into the room, the window was open, and I remember thinking, my baby not even saw the light of the day. And so they put me on the bed. My brothers and my younger brothers, and they had gone to on vacations, so I was there. My mom was at home, and later on, my older brother came and hugged me and kissed me and told me that he was sorry. He what I needed at that moment was to cry. And I wasn't even being able to cry or anything because I was like in shock. So then when he came, he hugged me and he cried with me, and but I still wasn't able to talk. So then they told my husband that he needed to tell them uh, funeral what mortgage they have to deliver the baby, because a lot of people leave their kids there and then they don't know what to do with all those bodies. So they said that before they let me go, they needed to have the specific place where they were gonna go pick up the baby. So while he was gone, my brother went with him. While he was gone, looking for the cemetery and all the was arranging the funeral. This guy came to my house, to my room. I remember it was this person, like a young guy, probably 25 or so, with a black pants and white shirt and a little tie, like the LDS missionaries, but he was from the Catholic Church. So he came and he asked me if I wanted to pray. And I said no, because I was so mad at God, and I I don't know, but I just was mad. And he told me that I had the was he told me that I have an angel in heaven. But when he told me that I have an angel in heaven, I was so mad. I felt like if he's slapping me in the face. And I told him, you know what? When you want a son, when you want a baby, you want him here with you. You're never thinking about, oh, I'm gonna get pregnant because God needs an angel. I said, I didn't want an angel. I wanted a son here with me so I can take care of him, so I can see him grow. And he told me, I know that you're mad at God, but you have the right to be mad at God. Like when you get mad at your parents because they don't let you do something, and then you don't want to even talk to them. God is your father. You have the same right to get mad at him. But when he was there, and when he said about the an angel in heaven, that's when I started uh, talking, because I couldn't speak at all. But he took me out of that like shock that I was, so that dark room where I felt like I couldn't get out. I can hear and see everything around, but I just couldn't communicate anything. So he asked me if I wanted to pray, and then he goes, "Oh, okay. Can I pray for you?" And I went like this, whatever. So he prayed and he left. Then later that afternoon, after my husband came back, and everybody, they went to visit me. My brother, my father, and my older brother came. When they left, I told my husband that somebody came and talked to me. So he asked the nurses. Nobody saw anybody. Nobody knows who he was. And they said nobody asked for permission to come inside the room. So it's always been a mystery who was the person. But I was so sad. I went home with empty arms. And I remember when I got to my house, I was really sad. I went inside the room that we had already uh, for the baby, and I started crying. I was there feeling so miserable. And 2 weeks later, I decided to go back to work. I was a manager, so I was going to work, doing my job. When you talk when you work with the customers, you have to smile. Hi, how are you? This and that. And I remember the one time, one of my employees told me, "Oh, this customer that comes out here every day," and she told me the name, but I don't remember. He says this the looks like you're not even it didn't hurt you that you lost your baby, because you're all smiling and everything. And I was so upset, because I was in front of taking care of the customers, smiling, but when I couldn't handle it, I will go up on the back and cry. I didn't want anybody to see me crying in the front, but I know the people, they're stupid. They don't even know, and but they don't stay quiet. They just say whatever comes to their mind. So I used to go home and go inside the room and cry, and I will leave it open, and my husband will come and close it, and I will open it. He will close it. So it took me about 6 months to be able to take everything down. I had all the Disney babies on the walls and everything. It was so nice, so beautiful, but I didn't have the baby. So It was a stillborn. I was pregnant the whole 9 months. And sometimes I think when you work hard, when you plan your things, sometimes you feel like you deserve anything, that you deserve everything, that, oh, if everybody have kids and poor people have kids, and why not me? But you don't know, you never know what's going to happen. And when something like that happens to you, it's so sad. I remember before when I was pregnant, I thought one time I thought that if something happened to the baby, I was gonna die. And the truth is that you don't die. It hurts it hurts a lot, but you don't die. Even though you wish you because you feel like you cannot deal with so much pain. I remember I was so sad and scared that I even asked for the autopsy. And at the end, they said that it was the placenta that detached, little by little was detaching until the baby stopped having enough nutrition, and he died. And I remember the doctors keep on, I know my dates, but when they did some tests, they say, you know what, I think that you're not right with it, with your, I said, I don't think that you're right with your dates, because the baby seems like is uh, a month, 2 months younger than what you said it is. But instead of checking why the baby is not growing, they assume that I lost my count. And because that was my first time, and I was 27, but that kind of stuff doesn't come with age. That kind of experience doesn't come with age. It comes with your getting pregnant, and that was my first time. So I remember that I was really scared, and I told my husband, you know what, if you want more kids, I'll give you the divorce and you can find another one, because I'm not going through this again. No way. And I was stubborn. No, I'm not going to get pregnant. I'm not going to get pregnant. But like a year later, I was still feeling like something was missing, that I needed something more. We were already married like 4 years, and it was like, the honeymoon, and the buying the house and buying the furniture, and we remodeled the house and everything. But now it's like we're ready for something else. So then I start trying again. I 3 years after that, I had a daughter. But I remember that every July, because my baby was born July 18, I remember that every July, for some reason, I thought, like, how come I'm so sad? Why I feel like blue? I feel like something. And then I will put the date, and oh, it's because this is the time when I lost my son. And it took me like 12 years, because I was always very always remembering the date. But on the 13th year, I remember that one day I was putting the date, and I said, oh, this year I didn't remember my son's birthday. And then I felt guilty because I didn't remember. But from that on, I was remembering all the time, because you never forget your babies. But it wasn't as painful. Besides that, I had Tanya and my daughter, so I wasn't alone anymore. But it's so sad when you have all these plans and you have all these illusions of having your son. You are like on top of the moon, that you know they, oh, I'm gonna have a baby, and you're just thinking, what am I gonna do? Where we gonna go? And I always been kind of responsible, so I even was saving money for for when the baby's born, so we can have a party for him. And at the end, the money was to bury him. But it's so easy to think, I don't want to go through this, but it's hard to have to be with no kids too. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about this experience, this really awful experience that I had. Um, and that is something that I will never forget. How I felt, how I was, my self-esteem went really low because I thought it was like my fault. I felt guilty. I felt like like I didn't deserve to have a baby. Maybe that's why I got took it, and it was the it was really really bad and devastating. So I always tell people, take care of yourselves, and if you're pregnant, do it even more, so that if something happens, you don't feel bad, you don't feel guilty. I worked up to the last day, and in a way, I was feeling guilty that maybe if I would take care of myself more, this wouldn't happen. But only God knows why this thing happens and who's gonna have this experience. So thank you for listening. God bless you and have a wonderful day.